We have complained, we have calmly voiced our opinions, and some of us even made videos on it. And Blizzard finally listened. So with patch 7.1, there are going to be some improvements to the PvP system, the gear system, the artifact drops in PvP, and generally the PvP rewards. My name is Darren, and today I want to talk a little bit about one of the biggest PvP changes happening in patch 7.1 that will affect everybody. This is probably one of the better changes in my opinion. There are a lot of things happening in 7.1, new things, some classes being changed, some balancing is done, but this is the general change for the PvP. We're talking about a change for battlegrounds, skirmishes, rated arenas, RBGs, 3v3s. There's going to be buffs all over the place. So Blizzard have talked about this in MMO Champion, which I have linked below, and they basically have said that in patch 7.1, there will be a return to Karazhan and a lot of PvE rewards, but they also want to take a look at the PvP rewards as well. We've talked about it before that, let's say, queuing battlegrounds or doing 2v2 arenas doesn't reward you, or doesn't have as high of a chance to reward you with great gear and great amount of artifact power compared to the PvE alternatives. In most cases, you can find a random mythic group without having that much gear, as mythics basically became heroics, and mythic plus also exists in order to get better gear, more artifact power, and overall better rewards. So PvP was basically on the back burner when it comes to getting gear and getting artifact power in order to get yourself better as PvPers. And what most people have been forced to resort to is having to do PvE content, even though that's not what you signed up for, even though that's not maybe what you spend your money on when it came to the game, you still had to. As somebody who enjoys PvE content, I have no problem with the system, but I do see an issue with somebody who primarily PvPs. All you want to do is just do some arenas and BGs. Why shouldn't you be rewarded for the amount of effort you put into those random battlegrounds as somebody who goes with a random group doing mythics? They're fairly same content, as they're not too difficult. It's simply just mechanics or knowing how to play a class or playing the objective. So they are doing some big changes. First of all, the artifact power for everything is increased. The amount of artifact power as well as honor is going to be a little bit up so people can get the rewards a little bit faster. One of the things we talked about before is you don't get enough artifact power from doing a BG compared to you doing a heroic dungeon, which you have to do once a day. So daily you would just do one and the other, and one of them would be a higher impact for your artifact power. When we're talking about artifact power, we're talking about artifact knowledge 10, and these are the numbers that you would get with artifact knowledge 10, which a lot of people are coming around to. Your skirmish first win of the day will give you almost 1,000 artifact power, and a skirmish win outside of that will give you 238, which is awesome. Your first BG win will give you 3,800, which is basically on par with the dungeon bonus, and every other random BG win will give you 1,900, which is, I think, actually more artifact power than what you would on average earn in a dungeon. I could be wrong though. Your first 2v2 win will give you 1,500, your first 3v3 will give you 1,700, your first rated BG win will give you upwards of 7,600 artifact power, and every other rated BG win will give you 3,800, my bad on that one. So that's a lot of artifact power increases. That means you're going to be able to level your character and level your artifact weapon faster. Those are some great numbers, and this is a good thing so far. I'm liking these. And it seems like they split the artifact power in terms of what's more important or what's more challenging and how much artifact power you're given. In a skirmish, it's not as challenging as random people queue. Some people well trained, some people not well trained, so the gear and the player difference is going to be different. The BG is where you need teamwork in order to win. It will give you the most, and BGs is what most people do. Everybody does BGs for gear or honor points from back in the day. Now you're going to be getting a lot more artifact power from those. Your rated battlegrounds, where it requires 10 people, coordination, and rating, and this is where the money is at, is going to give you a ton of artifact power. Chances are people might not be running a farm with the rated battlegrounds, but people that are putting the time to get 10 people together, run a game for 15 minutes, a clutch, close-knit game, are going to be definitely rewarded. So I feel like all these changes are fairly appropriate. You also got to take into account the duration of some of these games. Like for example, a 3v3 game or a 2v2 game don't last nearly as long as a rated battleground. So when you take a bunch of 2v2 games that equal the time it takes to do a battleground, it basically equals out to be almost the same amount of artifact power, no matter how you look at it. So no matter what you enjoy, you're going to get a decent amount of artifact power. Next thing, gear. Now gear is going to drop with every single BG. Right now you have a chance for gear to drop from boxes or maybe randoms, but with every single BG win, you're going to get gear. With every single BG lost, you have a chance to get gear, and your arenas or skirmishes are going to have a higher chance for you to get gear. So gearing in Legion for PvP is going to be much easier, especially with the fact that the item level that it provides you is about 840. For now, best way to get gear in Legion is to do Battlegrounds, which provides you a fairly low item level, and that item level is a 10. But not every single BG do you get a piece of gear, and sometimes you get repeats of gear. So with this system where every single BG is going to drop a piece of gear, it's going to be a little bit easier to get the gear you need, get the gear you want, and get that item level that you're looking for, especially when it comes to gear dropping from arenas and skirmishes. They are also redoing the weekly bonus gear from rated PvP as well. The gear that you are going to get from your rated PvP is going to be counted towards your highest earned rating from last week. So let's say you play some games for this week, you get as high of a rating as possible, and some people are just going to stop at a certain rating. Like they're just going to freeze and hold off until they get a better piece from gear, and then next week they're going to get 1 win and 2s, 3s or rated BGs, and they'll get their box with better gear. So now it gives you more of an incentive to keep playing. So it's going to go off of your highest item level or highest rating that you could get from last week, and you give you gear based on your item level. So let's say you play some games with a bunch of friends pushing rating, and then you decide you want to play some games with Joe, and Joe isn't particularly good at the game, but you want to help him out, get him some rating. So you might be able to climb up to 1800, and then with Joe you guys might drop to 1500. You're still going to get reward that 1800 piece, while Joe will still get his 1500. So it's kind of a win-win situation, and you get to play with everybody else. So this way you're able to play more likely with other players, and you're not going to be just sitting rating. So you can play with friends and play with different comps and just play with different players, which is very much needed. And it just gives you a lot more flexibility of who you play with compared to dungeons where you could literally play with anybody, and gives you that flexibility to play how you want to, with who you want to, whenever you want to. Also, gear is increased by item level depending on your rating. So at about 2400, you'll get 880 pieces of gear. 2200 and above, 875. 2k, you'll get about 870. 1800 is 865. 1600 is going to be 860. 1400 and up is going to be 850. Below that is 840. So Blizzard are making sure that you get gear. And this is going to be everything for this season, and the next season they're going to have higher item levels. So this way, the better you play as a player, you are going to be getting the same gear as a mythic player. So you're going to be getting 880 pieces that have a chance to be Titan Force, that have a chance to be War Force. So there's opportunities for a higher item level piece of gear, almost at the ranks of a legendary item level. So this is awesome and exciting. So players that are really good at the game are going to be rewarded with great gear. Players that are attempting to be good at the game and trying to climb rating are going to be rewarded with gear based on their rating. So no longer will you have to be almost feel like you're forced to play dungeons in order to get your gear from mythics and mythic pluses and doing the raids. Now you can simply do PvP and it'll give you gear based on your rating. And of course you shouldn't be worried too much about gear differences. The difference in terms of power between item level 840 and 880, while 880 is slightly better, it's not going to be enough where the gear will carry the player. So the player would still have to know how to play and be good at the game and basically be a pro in order for them to win. So you shouldn't worry too much about that. So let's recap this. Not only did Blizzard improve the amount of artifact power you get from PvP, which is awesome, so now that we can PvP all day if we want to, they also improved the gear that we get from PvP, making it so that from BGs and arenas we have a higher chance, if not a dedicated chance, especially from BGs, to get a piece of gear. So gear on ults and gear on your main is going to be that much easier. And while everybody can get gear, if you're really good at the game, 2400 and above, you'll get the best item level gear there is. So it rewards you for being a good player at the game, which I think is awesome. I like it when the game rewards you for things like these. Whether you are the best raiding team or the best arena team, you are rewarded with a little bit extra bonus. Not enough to make you basically get carried by gear, but enough to make it seem worth the while. But I think the best part of all of this, of all the changes, is the fact that Blizzard listens to the community. First of all, I'm not trying to bash Blizzard. I think they're doing a great job. Legion is a really fun expansion, but after playing Warlords of Draenor, I don't really remember a time in Warlords of Draenor where they had some mass concern and Blizzard were able to answer it and everybody were happy. Something big like, hey, the game is kind of stale, or PvP sucks, so this could be improved or that could be improved. And here we had community talk about, hey, you know, the artifact power could be better. It'd be cool if, like, you know, I could play with my friends, and because for example, I just like to get the highest rating and sit there. I don't play for lower rating. And gear from PvP has been a concern, and it's the fact that the community voices these and Blizzard has responded. It would be fine if they even put a blue post on it, but not only with that, but they responded with a change that looks like a really good change. And I think that's probably the best part of all of it, is the fact that Blizzard devs are listening, and it just gives me so much more hope and excitement for Legion as an expansion, and I'm very excited to get into patch 7.1. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of some of the revamps for patch 7.1 when it comes to the PvP system in the comments below. My name is Darren. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.